and welcome to the morning blessing. I am pouring myself a little green tea because that's what I felt like having today, green tea. So, good morning, Azim. How are you feeling this morning? It's a great morning. I just poured some green tea and it's Monday. Oh my God, that man will live to be 5,000 years. You, Ryan, will live to be 100. I just thought of you. And here, and then pop, you show up. Hello, Nancy. How are you feeling this morning? I just made a big pot of green tea, and which is really good for you. Good morning, Colleen. How are you guys feeling this morning? It's a really great morning. It's a little bit cold, but guess what we have today? Mindfulness. Oh, wow. So let's get the show on the road. Thanks, Nancy. I'm happy to see you here. How are you feeling? Hey, happy Monday. Good morning. Hi, Loretta. Good morning. 38 degrees in Northwoods. Well, I don't think it's much. I don't know what we have. Fahrenheit? No, Celsius. It was 13. So I don't know what that is. We have to get Google to do that. Good morning, Lisa. How are you feeling this morning? I'm having a little green tea, guys, which is good for you. Very good for me too. It's really nice. This one is green tea and ginger. It comes in a fancy can. You should see it, but it's really nice. Anyway, let's get the show on the road. So today, I decided mindfulness would be our topic for the day. Good morning, everybody. How are you guys feeling today? So mindfulness. What is mindfulness? When we hear it, it's common. Everywhere you go, mindfulness, mindful meditation, mindfulness, mindful. And the mind is already full. So when they tell us mindful, we get that feeling. We have to be really like that, zeroed in, right? What we should know for sure is to be conscious or aware of something or somewhere. So mindfulness is being aware of something or somewhere. And that's really difficult to do. And good morning, everybody. Lisa said, good morning, Lisa, and everybody else. So to be conscious is to be aware. Mindfulness, right? To be able to channel focus on the present moment. So channel, to go into it and challenge something to come to you, focus on it, stay on it in the moment. We talk about that. Good morning, sister. We talk about that every day. We talk about this, that we have to be focused and in the moment. And it's a challenge, right? But we have to pull it to us. Yet, being able to let thoughts to swim by and not engage in a discussion with the thought that drops in. That is basically what mindfulness is. You are aware. So let us look at an example of everyday life. We practice it. We just do not know we do it. Because nobody is telling us, thank you, nobody is telling us. It's a chilly morning, so I had long sleeves on. Everything I wear is too big for me. Anyway, so one of the things that we practice mindfulness in is in the moment. And the way we do that, somebody with a dad, welcome to the morning blessings. So the way we do that though, and we are not aware of it, is like this. Look at how we work it. So I'm standing and I'm having a conversation with Lisa and Nancy passes by. I do not just leave Lisa and I don't ignore Nancy. We all do that. Think of how many times. So when they talk about being mindfulness, we do it. We do it so much that we are not even aware we're doing it. So my friend Lisa and I are chatting, and Nancy, I wave at Nancy, Lisa looks back, she might know her, wave at her, but we continue. And that is what mindfulness is. We are concentrating, focusing on doing something, and the thought drops by. We should be able to see the thought, acknowledge the thought, and let it swim away. But no, we forget to do what we do if we're conversing with our friends at a party or somewhere, and we're there and we're chatting away. We actually take time to say to that person, I have to talk to Nancy, Lisa, I have to go see her. Sorry about that. But when we are sitting to focus and to meditate on the things that are important in our life and how we should zero in on the moment, we forget that tactic. Yet we do it and we are not even conscious we're doing it. Hi! And you continue. Yesterday we came from shopping, which I do not do on Sunday, but somehow Vanessa needed me to go with her, so I went. And as we are driving up the driveway, the neighbor next door is waving. So what do? You wave. That didn't stop. I didn't stop driving to wave back or chat to them. I waved, they waved. I went straight into the garage. That is mindfulness. I was able to swim by. So how come we cannot do this when we are meditating? Why? It's because we are not able to focus on one little thing at a time. When you come to the point that you have made a decision or a choice to do something, and that thing torments you back, and you're saying to yourself, I shouldn't have done that. If you can remember, go back to yourself in that moment and what was happening to you, what distracted you, what made you, where was your mind, were you in the moment? Are you ever aware you're in the moment? It's in the moment that we can channel and hold on to miracles. And do not stress yourself if you find that you cannot stay in the moment. Do not get frustrated at that you are making sure you focus on thinking, what should I do? How can I? Do not make it to the point that you give up and you walk away. Do not ever do that to you. Because when you do that to yourself, you're blocking the flow from coming. Let it go. None of us were taught to concentrate. You remember when you were in school and the teacher is there and you're looking out the window and you're thinking of something else, going to climb a tree or do something, whatever it was. But they'll say, come back to the center. So when you're being mindful, you have to practice it all the time and you have to fall off. You're going to get off and you're going to fall. You're going to swim for a moment with that other thought that just popped in. But the minute you realize where you're going, you should be able to pull back and say, no, let's get back to focusing. Before you make a decision, you need to focus. Have you ever stood in the moment of making a decision and a little thing said to you, just tickles you? It does not, those little knowings don't come strong. They come very slowly. They come very small. And they just push you but we do not recognize it because we are not mindful. We are not realizing where we are. We are not focused on where we are or someone. We seem to be open. So things can just come in. And the things that come in sometimes leads us to something else. And that is where we fall apart. That is where we stop and we get back. If you are addicted to something, chocolates, anything, or you're aiming to lose some weight, there is a moment when you are reaching for that bag of chips or that piece of chocolate cake or whatever it is that is so important. There is a moment in your mind that you can, is that going to help me? And to get to that point is really difficult. It's not what I'm asking you or talking about is challenging for all of us. I have to face it. I face it every day. Every morning I face it. When the alarm goes or when my body decides to wake up maybe at 3:30 and I want to stay in bed, I look at the time, it's 3:30. I still have another 45 minutes. I should be able to fall asleep. My body is rejecting me. Mindfulness would tell me, get up. Take the opportunity to grasp those 45 minutes and go create something. Go visualize. Go manifest. Go write. Go read something. But no, because it's supposed to be bed, you're sticking in it and you're wondering now why. Only to find out later in the morning something pops up that prevents you from doing things. Had you taken the advantage of those 45 minutes, Tessa-Marie, you'd be okay right now. And that is what mindfulness is. Be in the moment. And it's not, if somebody says to me, every day they wake up, they just feel like waking up and running and going to get what they have to get done. I want to have some of what they're having. Because waking up, your body has been asleep or lying down for all those times, all those hours, all those minutes, and then to get up, you have to leave the comfort of what you know, your warm bed, or even getting up from a chair. If you sit too long, you notice your body resents that. Where are you going? Sit here. It's when you get up, your hip hurts. It's when you get up, your knee hurts. Sit here. And then mindfulness will say, no, I need to move every hour. I need to make sure I do this. But the comfort is not that the body is speaking to you. There are no words. It's a feeling. So mindfulness also is not only the thoughts going by, it's how it makes you feel. How it makes you feel to be angry at somebody in the moment of prayer. You're meditating is a form of prayer. But you decide, I am going to be mean and have mean thoughts about this other human being in your moment of prayer. Why? Because you're not mindful. You're not realizing that you should stay there. We say, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Do not straddle the lane. Yesterday driving, somebody's in the middle lane, no signal, and just wants to come over. I had to honk the horn. So guess what that person did? Good morning, Peter. Good morning, Yoko. How are you guys feeling today? Not realizing there are people behind him, he stopped in the middle lane because he couldn't get into the right lane to make a right turn. He's just stopped. Traffic is honking behind him. Was that right? Was he really mindful of what he was doing to the other people? Now, those that were honking the horn, we talk about that all the time on the morning blessings. They allow his actions to aggravate them to the point that they are pressing on their horns, right? Just pressing. The thing is, was that guy, the one that wants to get in the right lane from the middle lane, was he in the moment when he made his turn that he knew he was going to exit right? What was in his mind? What was going through his mind? So you see, a lack of mindfulness can cause us to do so many things. His actions went towards the other drivers behind him and they were angry and honking their horn. He was not in the moment. I have to go, but he's just driving dilly-dally away. And that is when we have to realize mindfulness is what gives us the opportunity to do what we must do and to do it well. That doesn't mean that it's going to be easy or it does not have a challenge. It's not that. It's the purpose is to be aware. I need to get up at this time and go forward. Mindfulness will tell you if you're soaking up too much social media. It should tell you that. If you do not have a job to do, a purpose to do, or something to look for, then mindlessly scrolling, you're going to burn out. And people will say to me, Tessa-Marie, I have to get off social media for a few days and I'm thinking, who put you on it? Why do you find that you cannot resist it? So you go from feast to famine, but then you go back again to feast. So is mindfulness saying, okay, I need to do this on social media and I need to do that. And again, that comes to who you are, what you're looking for, what you're setting. When somebody tells me that, I'm saying, okay, we are allowing something outside of us to force us to act in a certain way. There's people behind this right turn driver allow his behavior to act in a certain way. When he was not in his lane and he was straddling the lane, we had to honk him so that he doesn't hit somebody. So he stopped. Again, the thing of it is that if we didn't push on him, hey Jean, how are you this morning? I thought of you yesterday. If you didn't push a little bit to honk on him, he would come over and there'd be an accident with more than one person because there was a full lane of traffic. So being mindful is being aware of what you're doing, consciously deciding to put another slice of cake on your plate, to have another big plate of food, to have something you know for sure is going to affect you. So yet being able to let thoughts swim by and not engage in a discussion with the thought that drops by. That is what it is. Like having a conversation with someone and a friend passes by. What do? You wave, you smile, and then you go back to the conversation. That's what mindfulness gets you to do. We can do it there, as I said already, but we are not able to do it when we're sitting in prayer and meditation. And that is where we have to practice. Do not sit to be mindful for hours. It takes practice, a lot of practice, but not hours and hours of practice. Small incremental behaviors, the same thing every day, every day, every day. There is no break if you want to succeed at something. Your break is the time that you're not supposed to do it. You stay away from it. So the time is, I need to do this well. What are you going to do? You're going to practice. That is why it takes you 4 years to go to university to get a degree. You have to know. They will ask you, what is your discipline? What are you going to study? Nowadays they say, what are you studying? But it's what is your discipline? That is the proper word for going to university. Science is my discipline. Medicine is my discipline. Art is my discipline. That's the answer. And because you have a discipline, you're going to be doing it for 4 years, being disciplined. At the end of 4 years, you will have gotten a certain amount of knowledge to enable you to go through life and build on it. Mindfulness is doing the same thing until you get the results you're looking for that will benefit you. To be mindful of your bodily sensations and feelings. So you guys heard me talk about carbs, and I said, I realized it was giving me a lot of pain. So what did I do? I had to stay away from it. My body said to me, hey, I don't like this. It would hurt in places where I haven't done anything to strain it. And then I realized it's that. So my body sends the message. That is what we must remember. Our body speaks to us. Our mind speaks to us. You're ready to go call somebody and have a fight with them, and the mind says, not today. Not now. Let it go. Let it go. Live to fight another day. So you have to sometimes listen and feel the sensations of your body. And stop to acknowledge it. Ask it. What's going on here? What is happening here? Why am I feeling that way? You have heard the older generation than me tell you, at least when I was a girl, that, I met this person. I'm talking to them. Thank you. Mindfulness, what a wonderful topic. Thank you. And, my body started to shiver. And that is where your body is sending you the message. For the gym, doing what matters is always going to give great result. It does. So when you step out there and your body is sending you a message, you bend to pick something up and it hurts. Should you just dismiss it, or should you listen to that body sensation? I do not even call it a pain. I say my body sensation. What caused me to have pain? Carbs. The minute I stopped it, all the pain went away. So if you're doing something and you realize it's hurting you, you need to turn around and say, what is causing this? Why does this hurt? And that's the only way we can fix it. If we do not acknowledge the sensations or the signals that our body is sending us. And, I met this person and all the hair on my head at the back of my neck stood up. Have you heard that? I met this person and I felt cold. Have you heard that? And it is terrible, terrible for you to realize that this is the opportunity for you to say, hey, why is that feeling? But you don't. Or have you met somebody and you do not want to be with them and you do not care to see them and they show up and the feeling still hurts? What do? You have to be aware. You have to be mindful. Why am I feeling that way every time I come to you? The body sends you the signals from inside out, not from outside in. It doesn't always come from the outside in. That is not how we should live. We have to live from the inside out. If we constantly take the outside and bring into that one human body, we get ill. Think of how much is happening outside. Think of all the wonderful things and the amazing things happening outside, and think of the opposite of that happening outside of us. If we sit and we absorb it all, we are bringing into us what does not belong to us. We need to learn to be mindful enough to stay in our lane. Just stay in our lane. Have the mindfulness to stay in our lane. And make sure that in staying in our lane, we are putting out what it is we want to send out to the world. Every day, our mindfulness in our speech can affect our life. Or our mindfulness in our speech can enhance our life in one way or the other. We do not speak for others. We cannot prophesy for others. We cannot give others what we are giving ourselves. We have to show others how we choose to behave. And by doing that, if they choose to emulate one button from the front and a shoulder pad on the left, it's okay. But to go out into the world and put our entire thing on another human being is wrong. Is to put it for ourselves. It's the same thing like being mindful that that person is telling you how to behave, how you should act. Or to be mindful when somebody is talking horrible things about situations or others. And because you're with them, you're quiet. You're silent. What does that say? Silence gives consent. If you do not speak up, then you're agreeing. That's all it is. That's what it is. But if you do not like to do this, stop it by saying, you know what, I would prefer that we did not talk about our friend or this person or that person's behavior. You have to listen. And if you listen and you're in the moment, you will realize you're going down a rabbit hole, because once we go down there, it belongs to us. What we are pushing out in the world, it still belongs to us. Mindfulness will tell you, keep your tongue at the back of your teeth. Shut up. Observe and let go. When it affects you, you do something about it. If we are too busy steering away from our own life and not being mindful of what is happening with us, we will end up not getting where it is we desire to be or how we desire to feel. When you're mindful, you will feel a little bit of happiness, and you'll wonder why. When you're being mindful, there's a certain time from being mindful, you will feel a little bit of relaxation, but a contentment of happiness. It only happens in that moment. Good morning, Narita. How are you feeling today? How do you do this? Being mindful is being able to say, I am going to do this way. Being mindful is pulling yourself to it and going with it. Being mindful is observing where you're walking, where you're driving, how you're going. It's not only in meditation you have to be mindful. If you're going, ask yourself the question, like I had a mindful thing that didn't work. Listen to what happened to me. Remember, I teach you from what I experience and what I know and how I fix it for myself. And if we're fortunate enough to get a nugget, a pearl or diamond from what I say, not all of it is for you, but all of it is out there for someone who needs something different. So I was getting ready for bed and I realized my eye mask, those you put on, I love having them to sleep. I had washed a bunch of them and they were hanging downstairs. So I walked downstairs to get them. But when I got there, something else distracted me. And I ended up getting Vanessa to move something she had placed there and move it. And then I went back up. Got upstairs. I had to go back down again. Why? I didn't stay in my lane. I did not go there to ask her to move this thing. So for that moment, I wasn't mindful. What did it cost me? Time. I had to go back down and go back up again. And on my way up, I started to smile. Because while I was smiling, I realized my mind was set to go get this. But when I got there, I saw that. And I strayed. But we do that all the time. And that is why we have to be aware. It's almost, there was a little boy once, his mom, they had a video of him in the States, and they showed him walking, and he goes, I am the best, I can do the best, I feel the best, I have the best, I can do anything. And he must be about 5. Is that what I am supposed to be? I'm going downstairs to get the eye mask. I'm going downstairs to get the eye mask. That's all I'm going there for. Yes. This is what we must train ourselves to get. This is what we must, it's not anything big. And it's just a little habit to develop. If you have a pantry and the pantry has an overflow, you might have some things downstairs or somewhere else, and you're going from one room to the other and you get them. That tells me and myself, you notice that, right? That I was not paying attention to what it is I was planning to do. I had it, but on the way something distracted me. And it could have been a thought. And it could be a good thought. Oh, I need to call so-and-so. And right away, you went there. So you got off the lane. You weren't on your path. You strayed. You straddled. You were the driver in the middle lane wanting to get in the right lane and couldn't wait. And then it affects us all. And that is why we need to realize mindfulness is not just for meditation. It helps. And in the next 4 minutes, I'm going to tell you how to do that. A little bit of mindfulness is to pre-plan the mind trip. Pre-plan your mind trip. Yeah, I need this. I'm going to get it. Tell me to use over here. To take to bed, I need my eye mask. I'm going down to get it and I look at it. I should be able to have observed it wasn't affecting me. It just wasn't where it was supposed to be. Couldn't I just leave it alone? So I made this thing that was outside of my thought to become the main thing. And I ended up not doing what I planned. So I wasn't mindful. So to be mindful is to make that conscious effort. You're going down the stairs, you hold the rails. Do not climb up the stairs holding the rails. You're not supposed to, because you're forcing your arms to pull your body up. So it's best you take one step at a time. Do not go down and not hold the rails, but do not go up and hold the rails. It's difficult. So mindfulness, try that one little thing. When you begin to walk, see how firmly you're placing your foot on the ground. Which foot do you use first? Which one? Most people don't know. So you're standing and you want to go this way. Do you always use that one, that leg, or do you use this one? Be aware. Little practices. You're sitting and you're eating. Turn off the TV for 5 minutes or 2 minutes, or time yourself, no TV, for 1 minute, and see if you can enjoy what you're eating for 1 minute. 1 minute. And that is how we slowly build on practicing mindfulness. How many times they say you should chew? 26 times before you swallow? Can you believe how smooth and easy that food would be to go down through our body and to nourish us? We did the work that the body doesn't know how to go and try to make it function again. So small things is the time you want to practice mindfulness. Be mindful of your tongue. Be mindful of your thoughts. When you look, do not send a negative thing at what you're looking at. Just accept it and let it go. Let it swim by. This is what I said. Being able to let thoughts swim by and not engage in a discussion with the new thought that just dropped in. If you are entertaining at home and somebody phone, do you just leave everybody and you go answer and sit there and have a phone call? You don't. You wouldn't do that. But that is what you do when you're not being mindful. You stop that conversation, that work, that slight thing that gives you just a tiny edge, and you leave it alone. You sit. You didn't come in the room to watch TV, but the TV happened to be on, and you sat. And it's only when the fire alarm is going that you realize you left a pot on the stove. Mindfulness. So it's to practice these little steps, small things. Hold the steering wheel when you're driving and see if you can feel it in your hand. Just for a moment. Be aware that Lisa, that is not for you, but if you're here, have fun with that. Be aware that your purse is open. Like Lisa is okay with that. Her purse has been open 500 years, I'm sure, and more. And every time I see her, I zip it up and it's open again. And if you want to give her something she doesn't want to take, you have it. So it works both ways. So if you want to drop a gift for Lisa, you just drop it in her purse. You won't know in there. You'll be gone by then. So everything has, everything has a moment for you to be aware of where you're going. Let me see what Jean said. I miss you, Tessa-Marie. Your morning blessing like a vitamin for my soul. Thanks, Jean. I miss you too, but I know you had your Brooklyn. No, Brooklyn had a baby brother, and I'm sure you were there with her all the time. So I did that. You got up at 4:45. Ooh. And you have been off course for so long, getting back in my routine. Well, yeah, sometimes we let, again, it's well-meaning things. Sometimes we let what is going on in our children's life take us off course, and we have to do that. And that is expected. But then the most important thing is to get back on course. As I said, I was reading something about the space capsule, and one of the things they said was that they're constantly course-correcting while it's going to wherever in Mars or wherever they're sending it. Doesn't just leave the Earth and go zoom. All on the way, they're course-correcting it. If that, they spend millions and thousands of dollars and millions of dollars to produce, and all these great, marvelous minds, and they're still course-correcting as it's going. Just think of us. We have to keep course-correcting if we want to succeed. Have a great day. You guys are wonderful. Julia, Nancy, Rita, Jean, Yuko, Lisa, Colin, Don, Ryan, and Loretta. Thank you so much for coming this morning, each and every one of you. Now, did you get nugget? And maybe the nugget is a small one. It's kind of rough. You're not too sure if you got it. But hold it in your hands a little bit longer. Check it out. Use a microscope. Think a little bit about what you heard that stuck with you. Just that, use the microscope to dig deeper and look at it and see what comes out. And if you were fortunate to get a black pearl, it has value though, but you have to keep it for a while. So that means you have to work it. And if yours is a rare pink Canadian diamond, it's hard. It's really hard. It took a lot of pressure for that diamond to be formed. And if you have this opportunity to have picked up a pearl, a diamond, or nugget, neither of them are more value than the other, because you know why. It was just for you. Today, alone, just for you. And spend some time and think about it. It could be a phrase you heard, like, allow thoughts to swim by. Allow them to go. Okay, swim by. I'm not going on the journey with you. Allow the gossip to swim by. Excuse yourself. Again, it's in there. It's in the 5 pillars. It's emotion. I tell you, allow it. Get prepared and let it go. So be mindful of yourself. Stay in your lane, be aware of the feelings, and remember all the old things, these old generations before us. Oh, the hair, when I walked in the room, the hair on my neck stood. When I first met them, I didn't like them. When I saw them, I shamed them. When I went here, oh, it was so... Your body tells you. It's not the outside person that has to tell you who you are. It's you. Have a great day. Love you. See you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful and amazing rest of your Monday, the 7th of October, another fall blurry, blistery day, maybe some rain, some wind, some clouds, whatever it is. You're still you in the middle of it all. Have a great day.